Welcome to Public Health Brief. A few days ago, I couldn't sleep. Not because I wasn't tired, but because my mind wouldn't stop. I kept replaying everything what I said, what I should have said, what might happen next. And in that moment, I realized something powerful. Overthinking isn't just a habit, it's a trap. But what I discovered next completely changed the way I deal with my thoughts. And today, I'm going to share that with you. Overthinking is one of the most silent yet powerful struggles of the modern mind. It doesn't shout. It doesn't always look dramatic. In fact, from the outside, it can appear as if nothing is wrong at all. But inside, it feels like a storm that never settles. Thoughts loop endlessly, questions multiply without answers, and even the smallest decisions begin to feel heavy. If you've ever found yourself replaying conversations, worrying about things that haven't happened, or analyzing situations long after they're over, then you already know how exhausting overthinking can be. What makes overthinking especially difficult is that it often disguises itself as something useful. It feels like problem solving. It feels like preparation. It feels like you're being careful or responsible. But in reality, overthinking rarely leads to clarity. Instead, it traps you in cycles of doubt, fear, and mental fatigue. The mind becomes so busy trying to control everything that it loses the ability to be present. And when you're not present, life begins to pass you by while you're stuck inside your own head. The powerful technique to stop overthinking begins with a simple but transformative realization: you are not your thoughts. This might sound abstract at first, but it changes everything once you truly understand it. Most people live as if every thought that appears in their mind is a reflection of reality or truth. But thoughts are not facts. They are mental events. They come and go, shaped by past experiences, fears, habits, and imagination. When you start to observe your thoughts instead of identifying with them, you create space. And in that space, you find freedom. Imagine sitting quietly and noticing your thoughts as if they were clouds passing through the sky. Some are dark and heavy. Others are light and fleeting. But none of them stay forever. The problem with overthinking is that we grab onto these clouds. We analyze them, judge them, and try to control them. The technique that changes everything is learning to let them pass without engagement. This is not about suppressing thoughts or forcing your mind to be empty. It is about allowing thoughts to exist without giving them power over you. When you begin practicing this awareness, you will notice something interesting. Thoughts lose their intensity when they are not fed with attention. A worry that once felt overwhelming becomes just another passing idea. The mind may still produce the same patterns at first, but your relationship with those patterns changes. Instead of being trapped inside the thought, you are watching it from the outside. This shift may seem small, but it has a profound effect on your mental state. Overthinking thrives on resistance and control. The more you try to force your mind to stop thinking, the stronger the thoughts become. It's like trying to push water down with your hands. The harder you push, the more it resists. But when you stop fighting and simply allow the water to flow, it settles on its own. The same principle applies to your mind. Acceptance, rather than control, is the key. Another important aspect of this technique is grounding yourself in the present moment. Overthinking almost always pulls you into the past or pushes you into the future. You replay what has already happened or worry about what might happen. Rarely does it keep you in the now. The present moment, however, is the only place where life actually exists. When you bring your attention back to what is happening right now, your breathing, your surroundings, the sensations in your body, you interrupt the cycle of overthinking. This doesn't require anything complicated. Even something as simple as taking a slow, deep breath and paying attention to how it feels can bring you back. When you focus on your breath, you give your mind something real and immediate to connect with. Over time, this becomes a powerful anchor that keeps you grounded, even when your thoughts try to pull you away. It's also important to understand that overthinking is often driven by a desire for certainty. The mind wants answers. It wants to predict outcomes and avoid mistakes. But life is inherently uncertain. No amount of thinking can guarantee the future or eliminate all risks. When you accept this uncertainty instead of fighting it, you reduce the need to overthink. You begin to trust that you can handle whatever comes, rather than trying to control everything in advance. This shift from control to trust is deeply empowering. It allows you to move forward with action instead of being stuck in analysis. Because at its core, overthinking is a form of inaction. It keeps you in a loop where you feel busy but accomplish nothing. When you stop overthinking, you create space for clarity and decision-making. You begin to act, learn, and grow instead of staying stuck. There is also an emotional layer to overthinking that cannot be ignored. Often, the thoughts themselves are not the real problem. They are symptoms of deeper feelings such as fear, insecurity, or self-doubt. When you constantly question yourself or imagine worst-case scenarios, it is usually because something inside you feels unsafe or uncertain. The technique of observing your thoughts helps you recognize these underlying emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Instead of asking, "Why can't I stop thinking about this?" you begin to ask, "What am I feeling right now?" This shift in focus brings you closer to understanding yourself. And when you understand your emotions, they lose their power to control you. You realize that overthinking is not something you need to fight, but something you can learn from. As you continue practicing this technique, you will notice that your mind becomes quieter. Not because thoughts disappear completely, but because they no longer dominate your attention. You begin to experience moments of stillness. Moments where you are fully present, not distracted by endless mental noise. These moments may be brief at first, but they grow over time. In these moments of stillness, you reconnect with a deeper sense of clarity and peace. You realize that your mind does not need to be constantly active to be effective. In fact, some of your best insights come when you are not overthinking. When the mind is calm, it becomes more creative, more focused, and more capable of solving problems. This technique is not about achieving a perfect state where you never overthink again. That is not realistic. The mind will always produce thoughts. The goal is not to eliminate thinking, but to change your relationship with it. To move from being controlled by your thoughts to being aware of them. To create a space where you can choose how to respond instead of reacting automatically. Over time, this awareness becomes natural. You start catching yourself when you fall into overthinking patterns. You notice when your mind begins to spiral, and instead of getting lost in it, you gently bring your attention back. There is no need for frustration or self-criticism. Each moment of awareness is a step forward. It's also important to be patient with yourself during this process. The habit of overthinking does not disappear overnight. It has likely been built over years of conditioning and repeated patterns. But every time you practice observing your thoughts, you weaken those patterns. You are training your mind to respond differently. And with consistency, this new way of thinking becomes your default. As you begin to free yourself from overthinking, you will notice changes in other areas of your life. Your decisions become clearer because they are not clouded by endless doubt. Your relationships improve because you are more present and less caught up in your own. Your stress levels decrease because you are no longer constantly worrying about things beyond your control. Most importantly, you begin to experience life more fully. Instead of being trapped in your thoughts, you engage with the world around you. You appreciate moments as they happen, rather than analyzing them afterward. You find a sense of calm that does not depend on external circumstances, but comes from within. This powerful technique is not complicated, but it requires practice and intention. It asks you to step back from the noise of your mind and discover the quiet awareness beneath it. It invites you to let go of the need to control every thought and instead embrace the flow of your inner experience. In doing so, you unlock a new way of living. A way where your mind becomes a tool rather than a burden. Where thoughts serve you instead of controlling you. Where peace is not something you chase, but something you allow. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this journey is realizing that the calm you are seeking has always been within you. It was never hidden or lost. It was simply covered by layers of overthinking. When those layers begin to fall away, what remains is clarity, presence, and a deep sense of inner peace. So the next time your mind starts to race, remember this. You don't need to fight your thoughts. You don't need to solve everything right now. You don't need to have all the answers. All you need to do is pause, observe, and let go. Because in that simple act, you take back control of your mind and step into a life that is calmer, clearer, and truly yours. If you made it this far, it means you're ready to take control of your mind. Don't let overthinking control your life anymore. Hit the like button to support your journey. Subscribe now for more powerful mental health videos every week. And comment below, what do you overthink the most? Let's grow together and build a peaceful, powerful mind.